Hey there, I'm Joel Alsop, and welcome to St. Jude Storied Lives. This is a place where the patients and families of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital tell their own stories. Now, I've met hundreds of St. Jude patients over the years, both from when I was a patient myself and from the 20-plus years I've spent working for the fundraising and awareness organization for St. Jude. I love watching these kids get older, even though it means I'm getting older myself. Today, I want you to meet someone I've known just about his whole life. Javon was 2 years old when he was first diagnosed with ALL, acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Now, the treatment for ALL lasts 3 years, and unfortunately, Javon had to go through that treatment 3 times. That meant that he spent most of his early years at St. Jude.
I thought this was like normal for a little child to go through, so I really wasn't paying any mind to it because I was just used to it. That's kind of weird saying from a child perspective, like, oh, this is normal. But during that time, I was pretending like I'm a kid. I'm like a regular kid.
Yeah.
So I'm literally just hanging out with my friends, my best friend at the time, Devin, and of course, I have a lot of other friends.
Yeah.
We were just outside playing, even though we was hooked up to our medicine bags and all that good stuff. So we were just having fun like a regular kid.
He was a really happy kid, despite the circumstances. By the time he was 5, Javon was nearing the end of his first treatment. His family was ready to celebrate. But all at once, they learned he wasn't done after all. The ALL had come back.
Before the big party that we do, like no more chemo, we always have to do a bone marrow aspirate. So, for those who don't know, a bone marrow aspirate is when they put a needle in your spine. I was asleep, and of course, like literally like 30 minutes before my no more chemo party, they was like, nope, we gotta do something else. And I remember the vibe just changed. Like we were just happy at one moment, and then it was just like it was so fast. Like, oh my God, we need to do this right now.
So Javon returned to actor treatment, and eventually he completed that and even got a chance to do normal kid things for a while. But then there was more bad news.
I did relapse again in 2010. So at this time, I had broken my leg because I went skating because I was trying to impress this one person. I'm not going to say who.
That's still important when you're 10, yeah.
But yeah, at the time I had broken my leg, and I was in 5th grade, and I was going to get my checkup. And the doctor noticed something in my blood was like, that should not be in there. So I relapsed again. So I'm like, are you freaking serious? Like, are you kidding me? I got to go do this all over again.
Yeah.
But this time I had a bone marrow transplanted. So with that, there are a lot of tests.
That means a lot of time in isolation.
Yes.
How did you handle that?
Okay, isolation. Okay, the first couple of weeks, I'm like, okay, it's nice. I got my Xbox and my Wii, so it's nice. For those who don't know, for a bone marrow transplant, you have to be in the hospital for 100 days, which can either make you or break you. However, since I was used to being in the hospital, it was like a walk in the playground or whatnot. So with the 100 days, okay, day 50, I was doing good. And then during the bone marrow transplant, they have to wipe your immune system out, which means you have no appetite. So at day 50, everybody expected me to like, oh, Javon should be stop eating. No, sweetie, I was still eating. Okay. My order at the time, if I still remember it was 2 fried catfish, fries, and ranch, and a milk or some type of Gatorade. I had a weird appetite, so I used to have like fish plates stacked on stacked in my room. And when day 75, that's when it hit me like, oh, I don't want to eat nothing, and everybody was shocked.
Yeah. Tell us about that memory issue you had in the middle of your treatment.
Okay, so I lost my memory during my bone marrow transplant. So there are some people have side effects from the bone marrow transplant, like some people lose memory, some people can't walk, some people can't talk. Day 1, the cell transfusion, of course, we had a procedure or whatnot. I was doing well, and in the second round of the cells transfusion, I was asleep for like a week or 2. My mom said I was in a coma, and then I woke up, and at first I'm like, where am I? Because when I woke up, my mom was happy. She was crying. She was like, oh my God, my baby. At first I'm looking her up and down like, who is this woman in my room? Why am I here? And of course I'm playing it off like, okay, yeah. But get out my face. I don't know you. And then she called the nurse and the doctors, and the doctors came in, the nurse came in, and they was like, "Hi, your name's Javon." I'm like, "My name is not Javon." Then I looked at my wristband. I'm like, "Oh, my name is Javon." And I went back to sleep. And I went back to sleep for a couple of days. I woke up. And I'm like, my mom was crying. She was like, "Do you remember me?" I'm like, "Yeah, you my mama. Why would I forget you?" That was very scary and also very confusing too.
So, what Javon is talking about is actually something that many bone marrow transplant patients go through. The whole process is physically and mentally exhausting, and their bodies are using a lot of energy. First, to heal from the chemotherapy that's used beforehand, and second, to build a new blood system. And it can affect the patient's level of consciousness and their short term memory. From a medical perspective, it's different than being in a coma, but not remembering much from the hardest days of a transplant is a common experience. Javon was a tough kid, though, and hung in there. Eventually, he was in full remission, cancer free.
Cancer free, hallelujah.
That's amazing. So, also, too, you were not the only St. Jude patient in your family. Long before you, your mom was a patient. What was her diagnosis as well?
Yes, her diagnosis was ALL as well.
So, same thing, went through the same kind of treatment. It was a little bit different. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Okay, so during her treatment, it was during the early or middle 80s. So she was part of the original hospital, like the
star-shaped building,
like
that
the
opened in
star-shaped
1962.
building.
Yep.
So they didn't have all the technologies and stuff. So my mom used to tell me a lot of stories about like how she was like she don't know how she went through it because a bone marrow aspirate, which is regular for person with blood type cancer, you have to get that.
Yeah.
However, they didn't put her to sleep. She was doing this awake. So her treatment and her experience are very different from mine.
But it's still something you had in common. Did you realize it as you were going through treatment that this was something your mom had to do as well?
At the time, I didn't know. So when we used to go tell our story, I'm like, "Are you serious, Mama? You didn't tell me." I learned that out during one of the seminars that I used to speak at. So I'm like, wow.
The story doesn't end. There's unfortunately another part to it. So your mom is a St. Jude patient. You're a St. Jude patient. In the middle of your treatment, you find out something about your sister. What was that?
All right. So the year is 2008. My baby sister is 2. Her name's Jakayla, and she was diagnosed with ALL, the same as me and my mother.
That is a lot for one family to experience. And you'd be right if you thought they were asking, why is this happening? Well, there was an answer they learned through genomic testing. Javon's family found out they all have a genetic mutation called a PAX5 mutation. We put a link in the show notes to tell you more about that, but it's known to make it more likely for someone to get a specific type of ALL, and it's associated with relapses too. Now, how did you feel when you hear your sister has the same thing, is going to have to undergo the same stuff that you are?
So at this time, I'm still like a new big brother because she was 2.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Are you freaking serious? My sister has to go through the same thing I go to? Like, it's not a good experience." So, and plus at St. Jude, she literally grew up at St. Jude, even though she was not a patient. So everybody knew us,
Yeah.
and everybody was shocked.
Yeah. And what did you think as a big brother? Did you want to be protective of her? Did you give her advice as she was going through her treatment? What did you do?
See, I was already protective because this is my only like sister. At that time, I didn't know what to say. Like, I'm like, "Listen here, I'm new to being a big brother. I'm new to my sister having cancer." So I'm like, everything was up in the air. So I didn't know.
Yeah. And obviously, you got your family right there with you. You have your St. Jude family. How did you feel when you kind of go back into the real world? Did you feel distance from other kids, or what went through your mind when you were doing regular things again finally?
At first, it was very hard because at St. Jude, I'm used to everybody. I'm used to my friends, and I'm used to the doctors. Well, I don't say doctors. I call them my aunties and uncles. It was just like a family, even though I'm getting medicine and stuff. But still, that was like my family. Like outside it, I'm like, "Hi, I don't know what to do." So outside of St. Jude, it was very hard for me because kids are mean. Okay, these kids are mean, especially where I'm from. So it was a very hard experience.
Yeah, because you did school at St. Jude too, didn't you?
Yes, I also did school in St. Jude.
You thrived academically, right?
Yes, I thrived. So okay, so my first time actually going through like the whole grade was have to be 6th grade. I actually had like a fresh start. Like nobody didn't know about my cancer story. Nobody, it was like a fresh new start. So
Yeah.
I made some friends, and I also thrived in academically wise. And I also was in marching band, and of course, outside school I was in choir, so I did vocals and all that good stuff. So I was very busy, and also I was in business organizations like FBLA, honor societies. I did a lot of stuff.
So you're awesome. You're a much better student than I was.
Yes, yes.
You decided you wanted to go on to college. How was college?
So I had a lot of choices to go to school. So I went to University of Memphis, and that was the school that offered me most money in scholarships. So I went to University of Memphis, ninth grade year. Not ninth grade year. I'm sorry, freshman year. Freshman year was amazing. Like I was in marching band. I got my first college honor society because I was in. Time progressed, I was in like 20 plus honor societies.
Wow.
And then I played for the Mighty Sound of the South, the University of Memphis Marching Band. Whoop whoop, go Tigers! And I had an amazing time. And then St. Jude did a present story. They took a picture of me in the marching band. They saw me play, and it was so weird because everybody was like, who are these photographers here for? I'm like, I come through the banner. I'm like, hey, they're here for me. So get out my way. You're blocking my light. So I had an amazing time.
That's awesome. So in marching band, what instrument did you play?
I played the trombone. So my trombone section, class of 2023 and class of 019, we was the best class that came through University of Memphis, and we was the biggest band at the time. We was huge.
What did it mean? What did music mean to you as you were going through school?
Music was my like gateway from reality, because with music, I don't know how to explain it. Like when you're playing the music, it's like you in the music, like you are the music, you are the art.
And I remember you got to be featured at like the biggest Memphis football game
Yes,
ever. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Oh, college game day. Wow. That required us to be downtown at what, 3 a.m. or 4 a.m.?
Yeah, it's an early start because the show starts at 8 a.m. So
Yes,
yeah, you guys
we
are
was
probably
there
down there.
early. So I didn't get no sleep. No sleep whatsoever. I never get any sleep.
And it was super warm that day too.
Super warm. It was freezing. So with that, college game day, it was University of Memphis versus who?
SMU.
SMU. Smooth. That's what the people in the stands call smooth. So we was there early, bright early, and I never forget it. Me and my homegirl, Brooklyn, that was my girl, during marching band season. So we up, and I never forget it. The first thing I called, I was like, "Hey mom, I'm up early," and my mom was like, "It's early in the morning. Why you calling me?" And I was like, "Hey mom, I'm very excited. I'm high off coffee and all that good stuff." So I'm like, "Hey mom, I'm going downtown for the college game day. All right, bye." And then I got my phone, and I never forget, I posted on Facebook. I'll go live. I'm like, "Hey everybody, please watch the college game day. I'm gonna be featured on it, telling my story, and also playing with the Mighty Sound of the South, and it's college game day. So go Tigers." So we get on the bus. Everybody's like, "What? We up this early?" And we are changing on the bus, like getting in our whole full uniform, which was crazy because we had a coach bus, and it's very hard to change in that. So everybody doing backflips, cartwheels, trying to get their pants and stuff on. Like it was crazy. Get off the bus, freezing cold. And for those who don't know, marching band, we have like brass instruments. So if it's cold, it's cold. So we can't play. We have to adjust our tuners and all that stuff. And then we get downtown Bill Street. Everybody's cheering. I'm like, what time did these folks get here? Because it was early, like it was dark. Then as time progressed, the game started going. And then all I remember is they said, "Here, Javon, hold this selfie stick." And I'm like, what am I doing my instrument? And she was like, I'll take it. So we get on the stage. I'm screaming, cheering, yay. And I'm waving to, and then I got a call from my auntie like, "I saw you on TV." And it was amazing. It was amazing. I loved it. If I could relive it, I would.
My wife and I were in the big crowd behind you, and we hadn't seen you for years, and then we see you pop up on screen, and it just made our hearts smile. It was so cool to see you that day. As you're in school, you're fully formed young man now. How do you feel like all the time that you spent at St. Jude shaped the person that you are now and when you were in college?
Oh, that's a hard question. I feel like because when you type up my name, it's St. Jude right beside it. So I don't know how to answer that question. I mean, with St. Jude, it made me very determined and eager, and I like to learn new things because at first I was gonna be a nurse. because I literally was around nurses. Like, I know how to start a IV or all that good stuff, but no. I dropped that dream real quick when I saw the requirements for that degree. So, yes, with St. Jude, I became very determined. I became very eager. I became very outspoken. Clearly, I'm on a podcast. I don't know. I don't even know how to answer that question. It's very broad. I don't know how to answer that. Let's come back to it.
Absolutely. Well, and thinking about it from your family's perspective too, do you feel like this was something, even though it was the terrible thing all three of you had to go through, did it bring you all closer?
I feel like it made us stronger. Like, yeah, it made us very strong. Even though we were patients at different decades and times, it made us look back like, dang, we really went through that. Because there have been times I asked my mom, like, Mom, at the time, how did we did that? Like, how? And she was like, first thing my mom would say, it ain't nothing but God, because we'd been through a lot.
For sure. Thinking about that, do you ever get to bump into St. Jude patients now? You get to talk to them and share your story in any capacity?
I do see some former patients, and it brings a tear to my eye, and also I love seeing them thrive and grow, because we literally went through the same thing and the outcome was different from one of us. So I'd be like, oh my God, you're so tall. Oh my God. So I really be cheering like a parent. I'm like, oh my God. And especially like the little babies. Like I literally saw them grow up. I'm like, you just this tall now, and now I'm crying. Yep. Get out my face. I love you, but get out my face.
Well, now you know how I feel sitting across from you. That's the exact feeling I have. It's nothing but pride too. Just to see you thriving now, it just means the world. So thank you so much for taking time to talk to us and to just share your story of the amazing things that you've overcome and the amazing person that you are.
Oh, if y'all can see me right now, I'm very blushing, so stop. So thank you.
Well, like you heard when he was talking about his appearance on College Game Day, Javon loves the camera. And you can see for yourself at the link in the episode description. It takes you to a series of cooking videos. He'll show you how to make that catfish he loves so much during treatment. For Javon, that treatment took a long time. His mom and sister had similar stories. Each of them had a recurrence of ALL. Thankfully, all three of them are doing well now. St. Jude never gave up on them. Those years of care at no cost to their family were only possible because people like you made donations to the cause. Families never receive a bill from St. Jude for treatment, travel, housing, or food. Thank you for your support. This podcast is a production of ALSAC, the fundraising and awareness organization for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. It's produced by Jeffrey Reddick and edited by Grace Korziqua Evans. Music production by Casimir Boyle. Recorded by Jason Latshaw, Nathan Black, Bobby Mitchell, Orlando Pilez, and Dan Yohe. I'm Joel Alsop. Thanks for listening.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital understands that every patient's journey through treatment is unique. Listeners who have questions about their situation, diagnosis, or treatment options should talk to their physician. These personal stories are not intended to provide medical advice.